Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with a little Reddit reaction. I used to do these not regularly, but I used to do them more often than I do now. And I was over on the Colleen Ballinger Snark Reddit, and there were a few posts that I thought were interesting. So I figured I would just sit down and film a little reaction. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So the Colleen Ballinger Snark Reddit, I've mentioned them before. They are always adding new stuff to the Reddit. It's a really large group. Let me check their number. I didn't look when I was looking earlier. They have 53,000.1 members as of right now. And, it's very active, constantly adding new stuff, like I said. And yeah, so I will link them down below, but they had a few things that I have not talked about, and I figured that it would make a good time to talk about them. First things first, this is what I was sent, and then I also went over there to look at the other stuff that I'll share as well. But someone has put together all of these Miranda Sings tweets to highlight just how repulsive Miranda is. And some of these words I will not be able to say because we already know how that goes and how hypocritical YouTube can be sometimes, but I will read a few of them. I will also throw them on the screen. The first one says, "The baby ripped my entire Tukey. Freaking brat." And that was on December 11, 2018, obviously after she had her first child. August 31st, 2015. Tip of the day, you have to change the underclothes if you don't want a itchy Tukey. January 2016. What happens if my pee is Bernie? Asking for a friend. There are just so many here that are so repulsive. I love it when the toilet seat is warm. It feels cozy. That was in 2012. Here's another one, 2013. My dog has hair coming from his back pee part. Is it okay to play with it? This is so repulsive. This is somebody who, and I realize that there is a really, really big conversation happening right now around characters like Miranda Sings versus parents not watching what their kids are doing online. All of the responsibility can't fall on either party, in my opinion. Yes, parents need to keep an eye on what their kids are doing online. At the same time, kids are also very sneaky, and when you are a creator and you're doing live shows, this has been my point for the very from the very get-go. When you're a creator and you're doing these live shows and you see that kids are in your audience, that is an opportunity for you to scale it back a little bit and remember that, okay, kids are at my live shows. That also means that kids are probably watching my YouTube videos. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about as gross a stuff as I am and trying to normalize it under the guise of comedy, because it's not funny. Like, none of these tweets have any amount of comedic value to me. And in a recent video, I also talked about how I didn't really understand Miranda comedy. I never thought she was funny or anything like that. And some of y'all agreed and some disagreed. And I'm misunderstanding it as an adult. I know that kids have a different outlook on what they think is funny. That is how she grew her audience. And she continued to be in tune with, okay, I'm standing on this stage. I have an auditorium full of children and their parents. And instead of saying, okay, maybe my demographic is not necessarily my targeted demographic and what I intended, so I'm going to go ahead and change this character a little bit, not completely, so that she is not putting out a very disturbing message to young children. Talking about my uncle, talking about things like this with you know, looking and touching your pets, and it's all too much for me. It is all too much for me.
Share gum. My uncle loves to cuddle me until he sleeps.
And then here's another tweet from November 2012. She lists wet things on my body: eyes, hair, mouth, inside of ears, in toes, underneath, and pee parts. Here's June 2012. Were you ever graper? And that's not what the word she used. Or is that too private to ask? Follow me. If I swallow a wiener whole, will it come out the same way? I feel like it would be really good if that happened. Here's another one. She would put out these tweets. Here's 2015. You know it's going to be a good day when you don't have to change your panties. The referencing to her uncle cuddling with her and her having this inappropriate relationship with her uncle and all of this kind of stuff is just disgusting. Here's another clip that was just uncovered 11 hours ago of Colleen being racist again. Here she is cosplaying as an Asian woman. She spits on Rachel, who is doing the interview for this quote skit that she did, and she's mocking Asian people.
Have you heard the good news today? That Jesus has risen from the dead?
Oh my goodness!
Add that to the list. And y'all who try to say, oh, that's not how Colleen is. The proof is constant. It is literally stacking up against her. Stop ignoring it. I also want to throw in this video, since they mentioned it on Reddit, I meant to mention it, too many words, in my video that I filmed last time, but they are now canceling her tour dates. This July 13th was just canceled. There was another show that was just announced that it was canceled. It's saying here, ticket holders, according to Twitter, ticket holders have been contacted by the venue to inform them that the Miranda show has been canceled. Official confirmation has not yet been announced. So this is obviously going to become the norm. Wow. Hey guys, quick little update while I'm editing. As of right now, her entire Miranda tour has been canceled. I will link the article down below, but it has officially been canceled. And I want to make it really clear too. Miranda's issues were not only put out by Twitter, her live shows, her YouTube videos. This is also a character who published 2 books as a character, full of inappropriate language, incestual jokes, as she wants to call them, topics that are not for children, and they're also NSFW. Just so much inappropriate material contained in not one single book, but 2 single books, published under the name Miranda. So there were so many different platforms where she was able to be inappropriate on so many different occasions. And Colleen didn't want to do better because it was making her so much money, and nobody was really putting their foot down to say, you know what, if there were venues that instead of looking at the dollar bills early on, if they would have said, you know what, we're not okay with this, and we know that kids are going to come to this event, we're not going to hold your quote show that you want to put on. And if venues would have stood behind, this is inappropriate and we don't want to be a part of it, then maybe it would have been a conversation about how inappropriate Miranda was 7 years ago instead of now. I guarantee you if venues would have come on and said, we are not hosting your show, we do not like Miranda Sings, and we do not want to host such a deplorable character in our venue, Colleen would have ranted on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. She would have made it the biggest deal. More venues would have heard about her having a negative reaction, and maybe they would have also said, why did this venue cancel? Maybe this is a character that we need to look into, and maybe we need to cancel her when she comes here. And then it would have been a ripple effect, and who knows what could have happened. But people are usually into money and, making sure that their venue is getting used, and it's unfortunate. Okay, so this is interesting to me from the seat of a creator that is covering her. This YouTuber, Jake Doolittle, I don't know who he is. I don't know what kind of content he makes, but he put up a post on his community tab that says, made the stream from today private. And evidently he did a stream calling, it was something titled, Watching Colleen Videos Until I Laugh, or something similar. And he said, I've never had anything get mass reported that much. Stream was taken down for copyright, and then when the video was uploaded, nothing got dinged for copyright. Also interesting that 16% of the traffic to my video was from a Discord channel that was not my own. Not going to mess with it anymore. If fans of someone who I make a video about can now take away my ability to pay rent, then I'm good. And in the comments, somebody mentioned, they said, I was about to post this. The way she probably still has a Discord with her new generation weenies is so disgusting. Someone responded and said, yeah, I was actually watching when he got the first copyright warning, and the chat went crazy with things like, is Colleen in the room with us right now? And hi, Colleen. Once I read that lots of reports were coming from a Discord that was not his own, I knew it had to be Colleen and her fans. Like, how can it not be? She is vile. Someone else responded and said, she also apparently is paying people to DM YouTuber It's Keisha on Instagram. In Keisha's video today, she mentions getting a bunch of DMs telling her to stop talking about Colleen. And then some of these people would immediately send another message apologizing and saying they were paid to send the first message. That is so wild. If all of this stuff is happening and it's somehow proven that Colleen is still in group chats during this period of time, that might be something that actually shocks me, and I worry that it might be true. So there's another video here, which I will play. It says Colleen Ballinger exposing herself in front of minors on the internet for 1 minute straight. There's no sound. The sound is on YouTube. I will link that down below, but it is absolutely awful. There are just so many instances of her creating content that is not only NSFW, but it goes way over the line of NSFW. So much of Colleen's content is NSFW, inappropriate for children. It has inappropriate language, incestual jokes, talking about body parts, talking about inappropriately looking at family pets. It's just all so disturbing. It is not a 1 or 2, maybe even 3 time thing where it was like, it was a mistake. It didn't repeat itself. Like, her entire brand is inappropriate. Rachel Ballinger on Snapchat, it says, Rachel and Co. still supporting Colleen on Snapchat, wearing haters back off sweatpants. No surprise there. Ballinger Family have finally turned off comments on TikTok. They have to make sure they can continue to exploit their children for money, yet don't want any of the backlash. Very valid. Colleen's downfall, her exposure, her cancellation, whatever you want to call this, what's currently happening over the last month or so, it has implications for not only her, but a lot of people around her. Like, here's another post where somebody talks about Corey DeSoto, her best friend and her assistant, who, is literally like relying on Colleen for his full-time income. And I don't know if she pays for his benefits, like his health insurance and stuff like that. I don't know what his employment package looks like. I don't frankly care. But her poor actions and all of the things that she has done over the past 15 years while she's been on the internet it's now all coming crashing down. And even if it's for short term, their break, or her break, or if it's something longer term, venues are now canceling the Miranda dates that are coming up. This has implications for not only her income, but also people around her that rely on her for their bills to be paid as well. This is why it's really important. And, some people might say, oh, well, you sound like the morality police or whatever. That's fine. It is super important to not be this over the top inappropriate and think that it's never going to come back. Because it might just take people some time to recognize, oh, wow, like, she was actually doing all of this with children? This is not, like, and I keep going back to the point, like, this is not somebody who you simply disagree with, or you think they're annoying, or, maybe they were a hypocrite a couple times, and it's kind of like a thorn in your side, like, meh, whatever, I could take them or leave them. This is something so much deeper and darker than that, and it has not only implications for Colleen and the people immediately surrounding her, but as there's also been talks, and I've mentioned it before too, there are possible legal ramifications to all of this because of the images that she was sharing of Trisha from a paywall site to minors in a group chat less than 5 years ago. So that is also a possibility that we're dealing with. And it looks like she deleted 6.6 million views off of the Miranda Sings channel. So it looks like she got rid of at least one video, if not maybe two. Not surprised there at all. She has lost a lot of subscribers, so people are fleeing her channel, which makes sense. Evidently, Jessica Ballinger has joined Threads, which I've gotten a couple questions if I'm going to join Threads or not. I don't plan to. I didn't have Twitter. I've never had Twitter, not interested in Twitter. I'm not going to join Threads, at least for the foreseeable future. So that's that. But Jessica Ballinger is over there, and she put up a post that says, I feel like this launch has been a reminder of the joy that used to prevail on platforms. I love seeing people learning together and encouraging each other. Let's keep it up. Let's unpack that. So, the joy that used to prevail on platforms, like, you mean when you could use your kids for views and nobody would call you out for it? Like, you could overshare your children and people wouldn't say, this feels kind of icky and this is how I feel about it? You mean while you could make all the money that you wanted to off the backs of your kids and people would egg you on and celebrate you as being the best parents? And, just feed your ego. That's what a lot of this comes back to, is these creators don't want any accountability. They don't want any criticism. They want no negative feedback, but they want you to click on their videos, buy their merch, and shut up with your opinions unless they are positive ones. That is simply what they want. They want to do what they want to do, and they want you to shut up, leave a nice comment, or don't say anything at all. That's it in a nutshell. Someone said, when I was 11, I found the pregnancy song she did really weird, as Miranda. There's a tiny little in me at all times. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so disgusting. Yeah, Colleen seems to have some weird fascination with, like, underwear, lingerie, body parts, hygiene, weird relationships with family members, farting, burping. It's just all so strange to me. I don't get it, but nevertheless, I am glad that people are talking about it and finally seeing what some of us have been saying for years now. And I'm here to continue to talk about it. So I wanted to share those Reddit posts with you guys. I know I've heard from some of my followers, like, Reddit is confusing, it's overwhelming, they don't get it, they don't want to go over there. So I figure that, you know, now would be a good time to share some of these posts with you guys. But hopefully it was good for you guys. So for now, if you like the video, please have a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.